Recording button, Christina?
I am hitting it now. Yes, we are on.
So everyone, good to see you. I hope that you can all see each other and see us, and as well as the slides that we have here. So yeah, we are going to have our training course in about 2.5 weeks. And tonight we wanted to introduce you to some concepts and just kind of get you into the mood or the thinking of the topics and the subjects that we are going to discuss for a whole week together on our course, Peace on Earth, empowering women for peace within, with others, and for nature. So yeah, you already see that I'm Nina, and I'm here with Christina, who wasn't able to change her name, but maybe you can wave.
Yes, this is me. Hey.
So I think we will share more about who we are exactly, and you have our bios from the info pack. So I suggest that we kind of plunge into our webinar tonight, and I'll share the agenda with you. So first we'll do an introduction, so you can talk a little bit about why you are here. And of course, we are not a complete group, but for those here and then the others who are going to listen to this later will get some idea and maybe can already also start thinking for themselves about it. Then we will, or I will share a little bit more about the 3 and the 4 levels of peace building to give you a little bit of the theoretical framework. We are going to show you different female leaders in environmental and peace movements, and we are very curious to hear if you know any of them. After that, we are sharing a little bit of the preparation material with you. Maybe you already have a look at it. But in case you were very busy until now, I hope that you will still look at it, and this might be an extra gentle push, let's say, to do it. So we are going to talk about an article from Joanna Macy and show you like a 3-4 minute video. And then I'll share a little bit. Oh yeah, we also have the breakout rooms about those materials. So you will have some time to talk about it. And then I'll share a little bit about the gathering that we are going to have on the 12th of May, so after the training course, just so you have an idea. And maybe you can also tell us if you intend to join or if you cannot. And then we have the closing part, the closing of part 1, sorry. So we thought in case you really don't have any questions and maybe you're short on time, you can hop off if you want to. And if you want to stay and ask some questions, then please do. So we have also a question and answer at the end. So about 20 minutes or so. So hopefully we are going to achieve all of this in 1.5 hours. Christina. You have to unmute.
Yes, of course, I know. So moving to the introduction, we have here the big question why we are here. So we thought to start with this one because we read some beautiful answers for your application, but maybe we can all get to know each other better a little bit through this question. So whoever wants to start first can unmute themselves and let us know why you are here in the meaning, why you are here in this training. Why did you sign up for that?
Okay, this is my contribution to break the silence. My name is Orshi, and well, I think I already made a long way from being emotionally poor, beaten up little girl into somebody who can call herself a woman. But I know that this path hasn't ended yet, so for me, it's like a constant work. So I'm very, very curious what you all have to share and how we can contribute to each other to finding this balance. Also, as a businesswoman, I work in a world closely together with a lot of ego-driven men, and it's always a beautiful gift to show them this powerful women presence or female presence that can help them take off the mask and be themselves. So I feel this is my mission as a female person.
Super, thank
Maybe
you.
you want to pass on the word, Orshi, so that it will be more flowing.
Okay, Dina, would you share yours?
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry because I'm traveling. I will try to answer. Hi, my name is Dina, and I'm really happy to be in this program because I know the idea of having the female power around you and to share your experiences is quite inspiring for me. I work. I had some work as a writer in a female magazine, so we talk about women's stories a lot, and it means a lot how we contribute and how we face different things in life. Even like talk about peace building and women at war, they always have their specific situation that is usually different than the others. So that's why I would like to be there, and I'm really excited for it. But I'm so sorry that I'm traveling at the moment.
And you can ask another person. You can choose from the people over here. Ask
Okay. I can't really see names. Wait. It's not showing names for me, but I don't know.
Do you see anyone? You can describe and we can guess.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I can see a baby, so yeah, maybe you.
I guess it's me.
Yeah.
Unless there is someone else with a baby. Hi, I'm Kitty, and I'm really, really excited to be here. I work with so I'm a psychologist, and I work you mostly with women. So I lead women's circles, mother groups, and I am also uh, a trainer to be of eco team leaders, which are small groups um where we come together and we learn together about how can we live more sustainably, focusing especially on the kitchen and on cleaning our house. And um, to be honest, in the process of becoming a trainer of these eco teams, I also have to learn a lot about uh, plastic and chemicals and toxins. And right at the time when I will finish those trainings, I will go to meet with you in Greece, and I feel like I will really, really need this to feel this female power, because I also see that like there there are so many decisions made by men which are not focusing on peace, which are focusing only on money and growth, and I really feel that the world now needs some female power, and the stepping up of the women power to really live in peace, and to be able to live a world where we can live, also where our grandkids will be able to live and breathe clean air. So I'm really happy to be more empowered and get some tools to how to help my fellow females to feel more empowered and step up and lead the world to peace and happiness. Yeah, it sounds very big. Sorry, but that's how I feel. So no pressure on the training at all. Lenka, I would pass the word for you.
Hi, I'm Lenka. Thank you, Kitty, for sharing. and passing me the word. Um, I actually wanted to sign for some nonviolent communication training, and the one I've chosen was full. And then I saw online this, so it was like, okay, it may be even more interesting for me, maybe with more layers. I'm working as a youth worker, and I often have groups where are children both from Ukraine and Russia. So we have like small war every day, or it's very present. So for me, it's a very like life question: how to be the one who introduces the peace in the room. So, and I think for that I need peace in myself as well. So I'm taking this opportunity as a possible, I don't know, recharge or somehow some time for me, something how to have more resources for what I do. And I'm also into ecology, and I believe that future has to be more, or should be more, based more on female values. That everything is too much in our society, running on, I don't know, economy, deadlines, like a calendar which is like based on not respecting, I don't know, cycles or intuition or all care. So I'm really looking forward to some empowerment for myself, or some recharge for in these fields. And I'm passing this to Matea. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenka. Hello to everyone. My name is Matea. The reason I'm here, the reason I enrolled into this
Could you
program.
speak up a little bit? It's hard to hear.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's also the signal, because I'm currently on the countryside. Just a second, I will open the window. Maybe it helps. You hear me now?
I think it's just the volume.
Everybody can hear me? Okay, so the reason why I enrolled to this program was mostly because I like to grow all the time, and I like to somehow spread my view on things. I like to explore. I like to grow in any possible way. And when I saw that this program is only for women, it really made me feel like I could get good motivation from all of you, like an open and safe space for expressing, for learning, for sharing and everything. And I think that is really important, because if we can have a safe space for sharing and really expressing who we are, then we can also grow. And the second reason why I also enrolled is because I also work with mostly underaged people. So it's like kids. Sometimes they come from really not nice backgrounds, with a lot of problems, family issues. And I would also like to have ways of showing them and helping them to find a way to find peace in themselves, and to find a way to make them feel so they can make themselves feel better, and to, I don't know, just to help them find ways to cope with everything that is happening today. Because as Lenka said, with the whole system and everything that is not giving us the chance to actually see what is important in this world, it's hard to do that sometimes. Thank you. I would like to pass to Katarzyna. Is it correct?
I cannot hear you. Then maybe someone else can speak, and then Matea, if you could pass the word to someone else, and maybe can try to fix your technical issues.
Pop in a short request to make it a little bit shorter, although we find it, of course, very interesting to hear about all your motivations, just so we can keep it within 1.5 hours in the webinar today. So maybe we do the first letter of the alphabet, Bogi? Did you hear that? So Bogi, would you like to speak next? We have more microphone issues.
Maybe Dora, then we go with D.
Yeah. Dora.
I try, maybe I can. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
We can.
thank you. So it's nice to hear you and it's nice to see you. I start a little bit opposite like Orshi started in the beginning. I work only with women. I am a yoga teacher and I lead women yoga trainings and also women circles. And I am always with women, and it was very interesting to hear this manpower and ego, and I'm like, wow, I don't know what you are talking about. I know in one way because I have 5 children and 4 of them is boy, and my husband also has some children and they are also we have many boys. So in this way I know, but I don't feel this ego power or ego power. So it was very interesting for me. And I'm very glad to study more on this topic. I also work with non-violent communication, not too much, but we have a camp here in my place in the summer, and it's also about non-violent communication. And we work in it with movement. So not only just talking, but how you can express yourself or how we can use exercises with movement and communication. So maybe because I'm a yoga teacher, so I'm thinking in body, in the body, and in how we can have peace in our body, and of course in our everyday life. And I work with women mostly from 30 or 40 or 50, and sometimes I work with young women or teenagers, and I would really like to have the connection between them and have the communication between them. So maybe this is my first goal, let's say. So thank you. And if anybody have the microphone, maybe Bogi or can follow.
Can you hear me now? I wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Hey, so my name is Katarzyna, and I was called by curiosity, actually. I saw the description of the course and it really resonated with me. I felt somehow the calling. And then I also saw that our organization, the organization I'm active in, Kobiety, is a partner in the project. So I was very happy about that. And yeah, I'm also a little bit familiar with nonviolent communication and the work of Joanna Macy, etc. But what I really am curious about is your approach, your perspectives, your tools and methods on the topics. I'm also curious about this female only type of activity, because this will be the first one I will join within Erasmus Plus project. So I'm also curious about the dynamics that we will have. It makes me very curious. Yeah, I'm an educator and trainer and youth worker, so also I plan to pass all this knowledge further. But also recently what I discovered is being a participant because I'm so often a trainer and an educator that, you know, this like reconnection with being a participant and how does it feel like to be a participant also gives me a lot of insight and learnings. So these would be my thoughts for now. And I pass my word to Marta, maybe I see on the other side.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I joined a bit late, so I didn't get to hear everybody presenting themselves, but it's really nice to meet you all. I mainly
So Marta,
joined
maybe
because
I just tell you that the question is why you are here, and we are trying to keep it short because we have a lot of other things as well.
yeah, so I just graduated from my master's in criminology, so I was always really aware of the issue of gender violence, and I'm trying to later do a PhD in that topic, and I thought that it would be a great opportunity for me as a woman to learn uh, about different topics that go around this issue and how to become more at peace with myself and learn new skills that I can then give back to the society. I work with young girls because I am a junior project manager, so I'm really interested in helping them and help while helping myself, kind of, if that makes sense. So yeah, I actually don't know who hasn't spoken yet, but if I think yeah, I don't know who hasn't spoken yet, but if someone wants to go, feel free to speak.
Well, I know who hasn't spoken yet. Maybe Bogi or Witka or Anya.
Okay,
Okay.
hello. Bogi, okay. The floor is yours, Bogi. Okay, so maybe I can continue. Hello, I'm Anya. Hello from Poland, and I'm interested in this topic in a few or several, many moments. I mean, this feministic perspective is close to me. I'm also the outdoor trainer, and I'm going to the forest with women from time to time. Now I'm in the project Safer Cities for Girls, so it's the perspective on how woman feels in forests and cities and with themselves. I'm the psychologist. I'm open. I just want to say, yeah, I'm very curious about the meeting. And it's a pity that I could not participate in the 12th celebration, but maybe I start the celebration at midnight because probably I will be in Saloniki before you. Okay, so I can give you, Bogi, the floor.
Hello, my internet is quite unstable, so I hope you can hear me. Thank you. So why I choose to come to this course or to this training? From 2005 to 2020, I was living in Auroville, which is a revolutionary city in India. And the founder of Auroville is Sri Aurobindo, who was actually created integral yoga also. And he speaks about human evolution and that the goddess, the divine, the feminine energy needs to rise because then only the human evolution can happen. That's his concept. And we returned to Hungary because I was doing a PhD on water, landscape ecology. And somehow when we returned, the COVID just hit in. And then we were stuck in Hungary and still we are in Hungary. And I was in India, I was working with women about health, about menstrual health. And yeah, I was hoping that now I'm kind of lost where I am in this life. So I hope to reconnect with something in me, with you together in this feminine woman circle idea. And we will speak more in person. Thank you. Okay, and then Vitka is the last I understood. So please.
Okay, hi everyone. To meet you. I'm really excited about meeting all these wonderful women and get inspired by you all. My main reason is, as opposed to many of you, for the most part, I work with men. And I'm part of a farmers organization, which is a regenerative farmers organization. And actually, it popped out of a man's, our president's mind that we need to create a women's branch because he believes, and I completely agree, that the soil, the earth can only be regenerated if women are involved because Mother Nature, Mother Earth is like kind of, we are the ones who are able to connect on that level. So that's part of my calling to have this feeling that you guys carry and get inspired of how I could engage women. And I also do think that young women should be much more involved in agriculture, in, you know, hands-on, basically healing strategies for our food system. And beyond that, there's like multiple other reasons why I'm inspired to join you all. I hold regular women's circles like once a month at my house. So I'm inspired from this standpoint as well, to bring into my beautiful women's circle some practices and ideas and inspiration from you. And there is more. And I don't want to take up more time, and I'm really curious how this meeting is going to proceed. So I'm excited to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also saw there are some people that didn't show their faces there. And maybe they cannot because maybe they are traveling or they can just listen. But I wanted to give a chance to someone to speak up. And if they can't, then I think that's all of us. No?
Hi everyone. Hi, Krista.
Milena?
I hope you can hear me.
Oh, maybe not. I can also say that I am here because I really want to be around you all. And yeah, I hope for some really lovely connection and collaboration with this exchange. Really happy that we have a chance to hear you, because so far I just read what you wrote. And yeah, very thankful for this moment. Give me a little bit more even excitement for the course. Nina, you want to say something?
culture. Yeah, I also wanted to say something similar. Like, it's always nice to kind of put the face or the person to the to the text, let's say, of what we have been reading from you in the application form, and to hear your motivations. So many different reasons to gather. So that's exciting. And for me also, it will be the first training course that I give for only women. So I'm also really excited about it. And I do want to do it more often. At least I'm imagining it's going to be a great experience. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I've been part of a women's circle myself. And that's why I really felt motivation to think that actually, you know, I think it is different when we only come together with women. We can just discuss things in a different way. So yeah, let's see how our gathering will be. And I'm also happy to be all women with you in that one group. So I'm gonna go to the next slides. I just had a short connection problem, and now my yeah, it somehow changed that I cannot move the slides. So thank you, Christina. So I wanted to introduce you already to this model that we are also going to discuss in the training course. And so initially, my idea was there are 3 levels of peace building: the personal, the interpersonal, and then the environmental, which can be understood both as something social and like natural, right? Our natural environment. And then I actually thought about it more, and I think that they are a little bit distinct. So of course, the personal sphere or level, it's really about how can we create more peace inside ourselves, what is helping us to remain calm, to have less stress in our lives, to have more compassionate dialogues with ourselves, and to be resilient when we are in challenging situations. Because our culture is really like showing only our happy side, let's say. But obviously, we cannot always be cheerful and happy. We are also having our more challenging moments. So how do we build our capacity to go through them? And then the interpersonal level, it has to do with how we deal with conflict. So how do we navigate them? That's not a conflict resolution term, let's say, but I really like it that, yeah, conflicts will always be there. So how can we navigate them? We may be able to resolve them or not. We may be able to transform them, sometimes not. And we try to de-escalate the conflicts that we have. So we will work with that. Also a little bit in the context of our gender. So what kind of privileges do we not have as women? And particularly in situations of intimidation and harassment, what can we do? So this will be something that we are going to get into on the 3rd day of our course. And then the societal and the cultural level, it's really about what do we find acceptable as a culture. And I think that violence is quite normalized to such a degree that if you haven't thought about it very much, you're not so aware of it. So I'm really curious also to hear from you, like what you will start seeing after the course. Because that was my experience, that when I, even after I had done a master in conflict resolution, I did a training course, and then I just started to see so many other forms of violence. Because the cultural violence is kind of what really justifies the actual visible violence that we see. And the social part of that is, for example, our institutions. So education and religion, politics, all those institutions that also commit violence and kind of make it a structural problem. And the way that we are going to address that mostly in our training course is in the action groups. So all of you are going to work on a certain topic that you choose, and you will create an action plan around it. So when you leave the training course, you have a plan for follow-up. And we are going to work on that for different days, day 2, 4, 5, and 6. So you have hopefully a solid plan in the end. And then the 4th level is the planetary level. So how do we actually deal with our Earth, the planet we live on? It's our only home, obviously. And there's no planet B, right? So it's really like a symptom, I think, of this cultural violence. And if we perceive ourselves as human beings as above the nature instead of really a part of it and a necessary element of it, that's quite problematic. So we are going to think about how we can be living in different ways, be more sustainable, and choose simplicity. Yeah, we, of course, it's like a huge topic, so we only have one day, and we will kind of scratch the surface, but hopefully get you thinking about it. Can you go to the next? So this is still a model of 3 levels, and it's invented by Johan Galtung, who was kind of the first academic scholar of peace studies. So he said, we have the behavioral level here that you see on the top, where, yeah, so fist fights or verbal fights, and the things that we really see around us and easily recognize as violence, right? And then there are the institutions. So here you see a picture of the army, which is obviously a violent institution. And I see another screen coming up. Okay. And the prison, for example, we just exclude people who do things that we disagree with or that we label as criminal, instead of trying to integrate them and see the why behind their actions. And so you can think of other things, even if we think of our history classes in school, right? Mine were a lot about Second World War or other types of wars, more than anything about peace. I never learned anything about peace in school, only in much later in life. And then the culture, as I said, think about the cinemas and all the movies that we see, or think about the sports that are popular. So yeah, this is just a short comment about war, that war is an outcome of a culture where domination, exploitation, violence, punishment, etc. are the norms and executed by armies that nearly each country has, and only slightly limited by law. So it is kind of supported in different ways by society, unfortunately. No, I slide myself. So, and then we want to know the 3 levels of peace building, right? So what is the counterpart? What kind of behaviors build peace? So how can we solve our conflicts, as I said, in this interpersonal level of peace building? And on the institutional level, what do we need? How can our communities of faith start interreligious dialogues and respect each other? How can we create education that really support the person? So it's not just that the child needs to obey and follow this and this and that, but can also explore more, for example, and learn about peace in school. And then the culture, what would it be like if we had films and books about peace? And I have there a picture of a medal, because there is a group in the Netherlands that each year gives a medal to someone who does something for peace. And in 2018, I got it together with 2 other young people. So yeah, I thought it's really interesting to think about that as well, because all the war veterans, right, they get all these ribbons and medals and so on, but what about people who really do something for peace? We have the Nobel Peace Prize, but those are really like the really exceptional ones, right? And then I wanted to kind of really briefly introduce a concept that's quite large, but just to have mentioned it, the United Nations has thought of a culture of peace as in 8 areas. So they say peace education is really important to create a culture like that. And democratic participation is important, so people's voices get heard more. And therefore, we need also a free flow of information and not like the secrecy that is very common. And of course, we need disarmament, and we need the respect for human rights. We need equality of women and men, and also of other types of groups. So there's a lot of inequality, not only between men and women, but that's the one that they chose. And then they also have kind of highlighted these 3 values that you see in the purple part. So understanding, tolerance, and solidarity. And yeah, there are more keywords that you could mention, I think, in culture of peace. And also a part here of the culture of peace, as you can see, is the sustainable economic and social development. They also thought of it as a really important part of a culture of peace. You know, like, yeah, without the earth, we cannot live, we cannot even be. So it's kind of a requirement. And when there is peace, we also have the means to think about it more, and because we are not in like a survival stress. So yeah, I hope that this gave you a little bit of inspiration, and I wanted to say a little bit more about peace education, because that's also what we are going to do, right? That's like our training course is a peace education project. But here in the declaration or the resolution for a culture of peace, it said it's a stimulating values like care, solidarity, respecting differences through dialogue, games, etc., that cultivate empathic behavior and problem solving. And conflict navigation skills training. Here I chose again the word navigation. Of teachers and students, and peer mediation programs. So there are also programs in school where students solve conflicts among themselves. You can think of peace museums. There are a few in the world. And cooperative games. So I wanted to share these examples that I've been a part of with you. One is my study guide in English. It's Engaging Nonviolence, and it's a guide developed for both participants and facilitators. So it's really like 15 workshop sessions that you could do. It's used a lot in the United States because it has been published by an American NGO, and they have a huge project, actually, the Nonviolent Cities. So they have been doing this different training sessions with them as well. And yeah, and I'm gonna take some with me to the training course in case anyone gets excited about doing some workshops themselves, of course. And then I've also written a children's book where it's really in the form of a story, explained how we can better listen to each other to create mutual understanding and see different perspectives when we have a conflict. So it is a story about 4 birds, and until now it's only in Dutch. So yeah, for most of the group, probably not possible to read. But oh, I forget, it was actually translated to Italian, and this is going to be published in a few weeks. And yeah, who knows, maybe there will be other languages appearing along the way. And then the third example here is the Peace Please game. that I've developed with 4 different organizations, and also Christina's organization was involved. And it's a game for NGOs or groups, really. So as a starting point, we took our own NGOs and looked at what different challenges do we have that are related to those 8 areas of a culture of peace. And then we translated them a little bit to the context really of groups and organizations. And we invented a set of challenge cards, so 2 for each area. And then a lot of action cards. So some of these cards are harmful actions, some of these cards are not neutral actions, but actions without a lot of impact. And other cards are actions that contribute to a culture of peace. So you can propose different actions when you play together. You all have the same challenge and you're going to propose actions and you discuss which actions you're going to pick. And then you try to match it with the challenge. And in that way, you have a discussion of what is effective and what isn't. And yeah, this was my really brief introduction to the 3 levels, the 4 and the 3 levels, and also these tools that I have. And I'll pass the word again to Christina.
Thank you, Nina. So the next slide we wanted to share with you can be the slide over here from the climate conference. You heard probably about it, it's a big thing. So the question is how many women you see over here on this picture. So yeah, it's a rhetorical question, you don't have to answer, but just as a start to discuss our female role models.
There are a few women, but even they are very masculine, no?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's also a really good point. Okay, let's see further. Here you can see the slide representing important women in politics. You can see we have head of states and governments in 27 countries worldwide being women. And so it's almost 14%. So that's also to show you. But there are some important faces you probably recognize. And the people that we wanted to speak about will be on the next slide, so we can dig deeper to female leaders. And now I would like to ask you a question if you are familiar with any of them. We will share with you a few of the female leaders that we choose that are quite inspiration for us, maybe can be for you as well. So if you heard about any of them, maybe you can also say instead of me speaking. Anyone? Okay, then maybe I can start. Unless you know, oh, there's someone. Yes, please, Lenka.
I just have heard about Malala, that she's a young activist, but about the other 2, I don't know.
Yeah, me too, Mala. I heard about her.
For me, the same. Yeah, Malala. I think she got a Peace Nobel Prize.
Yes, yes, as the youngest woman, 17 years old, won a Nobel Prize. She was really active in her early age. I think she started her blog when she was 11. And it was, yeah, she openly spoke about gender equality and her issues she was facing. And it was recognized and she won the Nobel Prize. She's very famous now, I think. I think among those 3, she is the most well-known. I chose 2 other women over here. The one in the middle is Omaira Bastos. I thought she's not really well known, so don't worry that you don't know her, but she is really well known, I think, in her community because she's this person on the spot. She works with the people, with her local people from the South America. She's from Colombia, but she lives in Cacuta, which is a place in the border with Venezuela. So there have been, I don't know if you're familiar with, but there's so many conflicts were such recent in the Central and South America So her family also had really terrible experiences, but she has managed to work for this people that have suffered the internal conflict in Colombia, and also connected with the minority from the Venezuelan side. So she is this. She also was recognized by United Nations and trained by them. So that's when she was speaking about her journey. She was saying that's where she really became a leader for the community for those trainings. And her journey began, and she became recognized, and she's working with United Nations as a volunteer, but working a lot for the community there. And the third person over here on those slides is Nadia Murad. Nadia Murad had a really difficult past as well. She's advocating for gender equality for the survivor of sexual violence because she has been suffered through this. She's a member of the Kurdish religious minority called Yazadi. I don't know if you heard about this minority, but she's speaking up for them. And she has also won a Nobel Prize for Peace. She's an author of her memoir book called The Last Girl, and she also is a founder of Nadia's Initiative, her own foundation. So someone maybe in the free time interesting to check. Yeah, she's been through a lot and really doing a lot for the women, especially for the women that have suffered the violence, sexual violence. So maybe next slide, Nina can tell a little bit more, and I will speak later.
So is there anyone who knows any of the women on this slide? Ritka is nodding.
I know Vandana.
Vandana Shiva, yes. And who is she? I think we lost her. Anyone else perhaps knows who Vandana Shiva is?
I can give a few words. She has done a lot. She's from India, and she's a very outspoken woman who has been fighting for agricultural people in India, essentially. And one of in one of her lectures that she gave in a course that I attended, she spoke about how people in India are going bankrupt from basically getting forced into buying seeds from seed companies and then getting out loans to carry on with their agricultural practices, and then eventually like losing everything, and they would drink the very pesticides that they were supposed to use on their GMO plants to take their own lives because they were not able to carry on with agriculture, and they were essentially like drowning in debt. And so that's kind of like the main point that I remember from her work, that she was like very fiercely fighting for these farmers. She's an amazing speaker, very influential, I think, a very powerful woman. Yeah. And Wangari Maathai, I don't know how to say her name. She's from Africa. And I remember her like almost like a decade and a half ago, seeing her in a YouTube video, but I don't remember what she was doing. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Yeah. One thing that I would like to add to Vandana Shiva is that she also wrote about the concept of an earth democracy. So how can we really give voice to the different creatures and even elements of our earth? And Wangari Maathai, I'm glad you at least have heard her name. She is a very famous environmental activist from Kenya, and also for democratic rights, because at that time there was no democracy there. And she was organizing women to plant trees. So you are seeing her here holding a tree. And that was very important because the trees, they helped to grow food. And a lot of the trees were cut for burning wood so they could cook on it. So they were losing a lot of their biodiversity, and there was desertification because of that. So she was really empowering women, and then she also was speaking up for democracy and the end of the dictatorship at the moment. So it was really a big challenge for her country, right? And eventually, through many different protests and organizing people, she became a elected minister of environment, and she has also won the Nobel Peace Prize, I think 2014. But maybe that's not so important. And then Winona LaDuke is a indigenous woman from America, and also a economist, environmentalist, and a writer. And she has been very much known for the land claims and preservation work. And she has been the co-executive director or founder of the Honor the Earth, which is a native environmental advocacy organization. And she played a very active role in the Dakota Access Pipeline protest. Maybe you've heard of this. In the United States, there was a big protest going on, Standing Rock and other camps where big companies basically tried to have oil pipelines, mostly through native land. And this really pollutes the water, so they organized against it. And she also ran to be a vice president of the United States. Okay, the next slide will be Christina again.
Nina, I think that this one is yours as well. I have the 4th and 5, no?
Oh, I thought you do all the uneven numbers, but I can, I can improvise a little bit. I know everyone, so would you like to switch it around?
Yeah, that will be more helpful because I don't know Kathy. Maybe you can say.
So Barbara Deming is a feminist and a writer as well, and a nonviolent activist or peace activist and pacifist. And she has invented the 2 hands of nonviolence, which you are going to learn about in our training course. Yeah, she also was an advocate of women's rights, and she became a journalist. So she was active in many different demonstrations and marches for peace and for civil rights, so in the civil rights movement of the United States. And she was also a member of a group that went to Hanoi during the Vietnam War, and she was jailed several times, and for nonviolent protests. And then Kathy Kelly, she is now the board member of an NGO called World Beyond War. I did a short podcast interview with her if you want to listen to it. And she is also quite a well-known American peace activist and a pacifist and an author, and a founding member of Voices in the Wilderness. So she has and also co-creator of a website for Voices for Creative Nonviolence. And her focus was on the wars in Iraq, especially, which she has also traveled to many times. And her writing focused also on Afghanistan and Yemen and Gaza, along with domestic protests against the US drone policy and generally the US Army. And then Mother Teresa is on the slide. Is that? I have to switch a little bit between my notes. Yes. So I guess you all know her. I didn't know her actual names actually. So she is called Mary Teresa Boyaxiu, and she has even different names from birth. And she was an Albanian Indian Catholic nun and the founder of the Missionaries of Charity. So she was born in Skopje, that was then part of the Ottoman Empire, and she moved to Ireland at the age of 18 and later to India, where she lived most of her life. And the Missionaries of Charity is a religious congregation which grew to have over 4,500 members across 133 countries. And they manage homes, still do, for people who are dying of HIV, AIDS, and leprosy, tuberculosis. And they also run soup kitchens and dispensaries, mobile clinics, and children and family counseling programs, as well as orphanages and schools. So I guess you were familiar with her already. She became a saint a couple of years ago.
Thank you. Then I have the next one over here. Maybe anyone knows any of those women? We have
Greta Thunberg, who is a climate activist, let's say, and an initiator of Fridays for Future. I mean, not direct initiators. I think that after her, peaceful protests, the movement arise among young people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She came from Sweden, and yeah, she started really young, inspired her whole family to follow lifestyle, and then inspired the protests and inspired people around the world. Do you know Leymah? Oui? Is that correct? Because I know Nina knows her. I get to know her through Nina. So she is the Liberian peace activist responsible for leading Women Nonviolent Peace Movement. And I read that she helped to bring the Second Liberian Civil War to the end. And due to her work, also the elections were, the free elections were possible in Liberia. So she also won a Nobel Prize, by the way. So really widely recognized. Yeah, and I think she's the person really that is well known in Africa for the work for non-violence and for the work for women. If Nina, you want to add anything, you can.
Yes, I will talk a little bit about her later and also in the course, because she really organized the whole women's movement between Christians and Muslim and all the different faiths that actually forced the men in Liberia to have peace negotiations. So they had many different tactics to achieve that, and it's a very interesting case.
Another interesting case, I think, is Julia Butterfly Hill. She is here on the picture hugging the tree, and I think this is the most famous thing about her. She lived in the tree to save the tree, and I read that she spent 738 days, and I wanted to share that with you. Between December 97 to December 99, and she lived in the tree. Affectionately, she called her Luna, and she wrote a book about it, The Legacy of Luna, because she's an American environmental activist, and she was by this action she really was protesting so that the tree would not be cutted. She was protesting preventing the Pacific Lumber Company loggings from cutting the tree down. And her action became really well known widely, also through her book. She's also a co-author of the book One Makes the Difference. So that I think also interesting case. And then we have another last slide. Last but not least, we have another 3 lovely women over here. Anybody heard about any of them? So maybe then
Joanna May work that we connect. So
yeah, definitely. We will also discover a little bit of her work in our training course. Even after this slide, we wanted to share with you a little bit about her. She's a huge inspiration for me, and I think for many people that work with connection with nature and with reconnecting to nature. And yeah, her work, she's an author of 12 books, I believe, and also she's making those workshops around the world, and they are amazing. And they are the books are big inspiration. They are the manuals to do workshops with other, to lead communities to reconnect with the earth and reconnect with themselves. So yes, we will get to know her a little bit more during the training. She's this educator, and that for me, this is the part of her that is really inspiring. She's also a philosophist, Buddhist. I love the way she put the thoughts into words very poetically. So you will see in the next slide. Until we go there, we also have 2 other women over here. We have Narges Mohammadi. I hope I say her name right. She's Defender of the Human. She's a Vice President of the Defender of the Human Rights Center. She also did a lot of work towards in the mass feminist movements for civil disobedience against the hijab in Iran and the vocal critic of the hijab and chastity program of 2023. So she worked towards that women are not forced to wear hijab, and the law and her work towards this civil disobedience towards this law. I think this was the main reasons why she has faced a lot of troubles with the law, and she was put in prison. And I just read about her a few days ago when Nina introduced me to her. Maybe you, Nina, want to add anything else, but I think she was sent back to prison in 2021, where she's giving some more reports and still working towards her case to be well known, and for the women being treated equally and not being forced by law to wear hijabs or. Maybe Nina, you want to add anything else about her?
No, I think it's okay, and we are also running a little bit late, so maybe we go to Naomi Klein.
Yeah, I think I also, when I read those like powerful stories where people suffered, there are many of the women that really suffered through something very difficult. So it touches me, and it's really hard for me to speak about it. But we also we will have more time to get to know them. And now we have Naomi Klein. I think she's the most famous for her book called No Logo, and she wrote it in 1999, so quite a long time ago. And I don't know if you heard about it. She is also a filmmaker. She's this person that is really like a big influencer, but she started really early when not many people spoke about those problems that she spoke through her book. For example, she spoke about the globalization and the use, how the people are treated in China or anywhere that the big factories are being built and then moved because it's more convenient to have a factory and few dollars cheaper in another place, and how people are treated, how this globalization is going, and what are the issues there. So she started to speak openly about it through her book, through her movies. Really interesting person to get to know. She's a supporter of ecofeminism. Yeah, maybe she's Canadian also, that maybe I can share with you. So we have here pictures of women from around the world, and each of them, I think, did a lot for us, for our female empowerment globally. So now we also have two more slides about Joanna Macy. In this one, she's talking about staying sane in the toxic culture. Shall we read the quote, Nina? Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's helpful, so people don't have to read it themselves. It comes from the article that's in your preparation material also.
Also another reason to look at the preparation material. So when she wrote, refusing to feel pain and becoming incapable of feeling the pain, which is actually the root of meaning of apathy, refusal to suffer, that makes us stupid and half alive, she said. It causes us to become blind to see what is really out there. We have a sense of something being wrong, so we find another target and another project and our anxiety into the nearest thing handy, whatever it is, Muslim, gays, or Jews, or transsexuals.
We project our anxiety onto other people.
Yes. So I'll just leave it without comment and go further. We have another quote over here from the same Staying Sane in Toxic Culture. When corporate controlled media keep the public in the dark and power holders multiply effects to create a climate of fear and obedience, truth-telling is like oxygen, she written. And then we have also a really short video over here. Yeah, we're gonna play that.
Yes, I'm just thinking because it's now 7:13. So because we wanted to give you really like some time to speak in the breakout rooms, but we also wanted to have the time for the questions and look who's coming on the 12th. So I think we may just have to decide to skip this, although it would have been for you really interesting to speak already amongst yourselves. What do you think, Christina?
Maybe instead of showing materials, we can give you 5 minutes to speak in the breakout rooms and then move to the conclusion. What do you suggest?
Yes, or we can perhaps we watch it and then we just invite one or two people to comment on it instead of the breakout rooms.
Yeah, we are quite a small group, so that could be okay, no?
Are you fine with that? I imagine you don't have a lot of time to stay extra. Okay, great. So let's see. Please tell me if the sound works. I'm gonna play it and then hopefully you're gonna hear it. Or if I can click on it. Can you click on it?
My internet connection is not very good. Can you just share the link to this
Yes.
video in the chat and then I can?
Hold on.
I can also share the screen.
Yeah, she is saying that then she will not be able to hear it well. So I'm gonna get the link and then we can play it as well. Chat. So. Shall I play it then, or Christina, do you want to play it?
But should I should play it in the presentation as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for those who
Who
want to
can?
see through the presentation.
Then I will share my screen and I will play it because I cannot click on the presentation, but I can click while I share the screen. I just had it here. Okay.
And people left also in the time. So yeah, thank you for staying on. It's always a few tech issues in these kind of meetings, but we're gonna get there.
Hey, let me introduce myself. I'm number 108 in a hive near you. My friends call me Buzz. I like that more than the other name. Our queen asked me to bring an important message for the human world. Her Majesty wishes me to emphasize that lives depend on it. As you know, the environment has become more and more compromised, and this has led to some excellent interventions. I'm here to talk to you about another being that's in danger of extinction, the human being. Bees and human beings are not the same. They experience the world through different lenses and organize themselves differently. Human beings are organized or play on their purpose, but maybe you'll get there. We also have a lot in common. We share a common home. And like us, human beings are not separate from the environment, but depend on it. Us bees know that. Most human beings, however, don't seem to understand. I suspect that's because the lens you experience the world through makes you believe that you are just separate bodies. You have to compete with each other for scarce resources on a finite planet. And even those of you who sense our mutual interconnectedness often respond in a way that only reinforces the basic problem. Separateness. That vision leads to so many more problems, like violence. Violence is, after all, another way of saying that you and I are separate. Somehow, you can be happy if I'm suffering. But there's no time left for violence. Climate change is a major crisis facing us all. And yet, where there is crisis, there is also opportunity. It may be a way to wake up human beings to your true nature. I believe that non-violence is part of that. Non-violence is the force that comes from within when you transform feelings of separateness into relationships. In this beloved community, you feel responsibility to one another in ways that help you make better choices because you can see the long-term consequences of your actions, and then you'll open up to the higher reality. There's a lot of room in the hive. If you don't explore it first, here are a few useful non-violence principles. The person is not the problem. The problem is the problem. Focus on it together. Everyone has a piece of the truth. Respect everyone, including yourself. Don't make threats, or you'll. To be collaborative, you need to be creative. People change their awareness and perspective, and they do. But most importantly, you have an important contribution to make in this effort. By being yourself, you are here for a great purpose. Want to take action? At the Folk Center have great tools for you to bring non-violence into practice. Visit them at metacenter.org.
To me, there was a little bit of delay, but if it didn't come through all of it, just please watch it again at home. Is there anything that stood out for you? Those of you who still are here with us?
I really like the focus on connectiveness, and I really love the sentence that the problem is not the person, the problem is the problem. It sounds super simple, but still it was quite enlightening for me.
For me, it wasn't really clear all the time, so I try to put together what is happening, but I can tell what is my association. Okay, for understand. Like I live in nature, and we have a place here and make camps for people. And many times I feel I don't have to teach anything. Nature doesn't move them. So they just come here and they just stay with the grass, with the sky, with the environment, with the trees. And I can have some yoga classes with them, but with the nature, they already start to reconnect with themselves and with the environment and all together. So from this, what I can get from the small sports, I felt like the importance of the communication also with the nature, also with each other, but also with the nature.
Can you hear me? Okay. For me also was the connection between everything and how it's all related. Some of the video was really not very good with the connection, but what I got was the connection between everything on Earth.
Yeah, I do recommend to watch it again so you can see it more smoothly, but that is a very important point, so I'm glad you got that at least. And the Meta Center is where I did the nonviolence training in 2009, so it's kind of the starting point, you could say, of my journey into this peace education that I'm doing. So yeah, do check them out. There is another really nice video that I suggest you to watch. So Nonviolence, Your Inner Power, it's called. It's also in your prep materials. And then I have another suggestion for you that is not in your preparation materials. This is just a trailer that we are not going to watch now, but it's a trailer of the movie Pray the Devil Back to Hell. And it is about the women's movement in Liberia from Lema Gabowi that we mentioned. So yeah, I just had a next slide about the Mother's Day for Peace. I'm not even sure if I already shared this with you. So I just found out that on this day that I wanted to gather in Thessaloniki with those who are able to, it's actually Mother's Day. And it's very interesting because Mother's Day, at least in the United States, has been kind of put on the agenda by a woman whose mother was very active for peace and bringing people together, mothers mostly together, to say that they don't want their children to die in wars. And also there was a very nice Mother's Day Declaration written already in 1870. So I have also printed that for you and you can see it. And it's also this, like, together, really the women to unite for peace. And yeah, I think women, also non-mothers, right? But we all have that potential. We have the potential to bear life and yeah, that's kind of the opposite, right, of the destruction of war. So maybe I'll just make a poll to see who of you is going to be present and who not. So we have a little bit of an idea of how many people we are, and we can just all travel together by train and then kind of shape the meeting that we want to have. I was thinking here of like just a gathering, maybe marching, maybe not, and having these flyers that I'm going to print with the declaration I told you about. And perhaps like, yeah, handing them out, having short conversations with people, perhaps giving them some lemonade if we can do it. So just a kind of oh yeah, and the t-shirts. So don't forget your t-shirt. We're going to do a recycling workshop, and this would be a nice way to wear the message. Or if you want to write something, yeah, we can really co-create it. So we have a closing as well, and then still a little bit of time for questions. We will run a few minutes late, but yeah.
So yes, to close really smoothly, maybe we can choose one word. How do we feel at the end of this part of the meeting? And then we can have some moment for some logistics or questions more about training itself. You can refer to the word, to any feeling you have now at the moment after all of this.
For me, I'm excited.
Thank you. Dina? And maybe you can call the next person.
Anyone can go.
I'm not sure that came true. Our Bogi, go ahead.
So I feel connected. How do you feel, Dora?
Thank you. My word is peace. And I feel that. Thank you. And Blanca?
I feel curious. And how do you feel, Tupu?
Inspired. And is there anyone who didn't speak yet? Marta, if you are here.
Yes, we have Marta and Milena who are not on video.
Milana just wrote peaceful. When I said peace, she wrote down peaceful. So it's nice.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a few short comments then.
How do you feel?
How I feel? Excited, actually. Yeah. Excited to meet all of you and to kind of start already tipping our toes into the different subjects.
I'm happy. Thank you.
I just wanted to let you know that the last train on Saturday, the arrival day, is at 10 to 10, in case you haven't looked it up yet. So from the airport, you take a bus, and I think this is something like €2 plus a train. That will take about 1 hour, and I think it's around 12. I haven't looked up the price, but it's Hellenic Trains where you can find tickets online, and you can also buy them in a train station. So just that you have to take this into account when you book your flight, because otherwise it will be really very expensive if you have to go all the way with a taxi. And yeah, please fill in the participation form by Sunday, because I have to inform the hotel about yeah, well, first of all, what is the final group, and also what are your dietary concerns, etc. So then I saw that now 11 people have done it, about half of the group. And we also created a WhatsApp group, but I don't think most people are in it, not yet. So look that up again. I can resend the link as well. Probably I will send you a reminder Saturday evening or Sunday morning for the form anyway. And yeah, don't forget your t-shirts. So is there also questions from your side? Marta, were you unmuting?
I have. Oh, sorry.
Madura.
Okay, I have just something. It's not really a question, but I'm interested in the something you plan at the end. But my airplane goes, I think, at 3 o'clock. So if it's 11:30, then it's, I don't know if it's possible or not. Maybe if it's a little bit earlier, then it's. But I don't know what is your plan, so I don't want to change already everything. Just a note that.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but I don't know if I can or not.
So I was looking at trains, and there is not too many. So I think there's a train like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 20 to 11. So we are going to be in Thessaloniki like only 20 to 12, and then we still need to get to the place we want to go. So, but from there it will take you 45 minutes or so to the airport. So if you leave at 3, it's still possible. We are going to end it around 2 o'clock probably anyway for people to eat. So Lenka and Kitty, do you have any questions? Otherwise, we'll just unmute and say goodbye and see you soon.
I have a question, but it's so on the 4th of May when we arrive, if I understood well, and then we will have a meeting after dinner, like for 1.5 or 2 hours. And I was wondering, like, will we really have a meeting after dinner? Just because since I became a mom, my brain kind of stops working at around 8 or 9 p.m. And I was wondering, like, if it's going to be just to get to know each other, or if it's going to be something very productive already.
No.
How should I prepare after a whole day of travel with a baby?
Yeah. No worries. So if you are also really too tired, generally I want you to take care of yourself during the training course. So of course we expect you to be there, but yeah, some sessions are also more important than others, and we can always talk about it. But it will just be getting to know each other. So no, nothing like the webinar today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was on the training with Nina, and the first day we had the session in the evening as well. And it ended up a really nice moment for me to get to know people. And my daughter was sleeping downstairs. So the session was in one place, and I was going to her. I know you, like how you feel. I have the same thing. But it was very, very mild session.
Yeah, Lenka?
No questions?
Okay.
It's
I might have another one. Like, Nina, could you bring also the book which you wrote for kids? Because we speak a little bit of Dutch, and it would be so nice to have it.
Oh, Yeah,
If you
I
have
actually have
any.
only one copy, but I could
Okay.
because I had here in Greece. So, but I could give it to you because I can get another copy.
Okay, perfect. Oh, you're already in Greece.
Yes, I didn't say that. I live in Greece. Yeah. So I am from the Netherlands, but I've been living here for 6 years.
That's nice.
Okay, well, great to get to know you, and yeah, I hope that it was interesting for you to gather, and thank you for staying for those who did, and also we understand that not everyone could stay until the end, so we just really look forward to see you live.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, and so happy to see you soon.
You can come off mute and we can wave if you want.
So it's nice to see you and see you soon.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. See you soon.